girl, and y'all know what's goody. Okay?
Hey guys, this is your girl Annie, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you waiting on? Follow me, and I promise I'll follow back. And while you at it,
hit the link in the bio. Chatters. Chatters. Good morning. I don't know about y'all. Grab your cups and grab your coffee. Y'all know what's good.
Hey guys, this is your girl Annie, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you waiting on? Follow me, and I promise I'll follow back. And while you at it, hit the link in the bio.
Chatters. Good afternoon. Let me silence my phone. Listen, we have an exclusive interview for y'all today. Okay. I got my girlfriend here, Blessing, all the way from Africa, okay? Dropping in the United States, and she's sitting on the Chit Chat TV couch today, so we're going to talk a little bit. Listen, remember to stay tuned for our day party later on tonight. Make sure you prepare your music, write it down. Bartenders, you got the virgin drinks? Because you make sure you got the jerk chicken, you got the fish, you got the virgin drinks, and you got the car and the taxi. Because my chatters, y'all know we ready. When we come later, it's going to be a party. Okay, so guys, welcome one more time. I got my girl Blessing out here today. This is Blessing Obat. Welcome, Blessing.
Hello.
Guys, you know, I adjust herself a little bit because I'm not used to this position or this angle. But let me see. Let me get some more room here and space for you guys. Now, that's a little bit better. All right, so I told you guys yesterday I'm going to be coming out here and giving you guys little exclusive interviews with other people because on Chit Chat TV it's all about hard talk, real talk conversations. Now guys, real quickly, if you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram and also on Facebook, make sure you're going over. Follow your girl over there on Facebook and on the gram. And when you get there, hit that link in the bio. Listen, if you want to know every time we drop a video, hit that bell in the right hand corner. So we drop that bam, y'all here to get it. So today, we having a little hard talk, real conversation with Blessing Obat. And I am so, excited to have this conversation because for my chatters, a lot of my women out there, you guys are big women. You guys have been through some things. Y'all been through some stories. Y'all been through from another country. So a lot of us, we relate in a lot of ways. The only difference with this one is that Blessing is from Africa. Blessing, where from Africa are you from?
Nigeria.
Any Nigerians out there watching me? Because sometimes I know we have people all over the world hopping in the chat, and I know sometimes we might only be relating to our Jamaican people, but today we have a Nigerian. Okay, this is my sister in Christ. That I'm so excited to have her on because she has a very powerful story. So we're gonna give you a little bit about it, and we're gonna bring her back on another time to give her the rest. Okay, so make sure in the comments if there's anything you want to ask Blessing Obat, put it in the comment area. Now let me shout out to my moderators who are always around. Thank you for Blessed One, Stephanie, we tap Mama Glow, and everybody who comes on to support Chit Chat TV. I hope that this morning you guys enjoyed service. You guys know that if you are not able to attend church, you can attend with us at 15 Cottage Street. All right, so good afternoon one more time. Grab your cups and grab your coffee because we're ready to talk about it. All right, we got our cups, we got our coffee. Blessing one more time. Blessing Obat in the house. Listen, we want to get into some things. Now, I've met Blessing a long time ago. And I've always thought she was a very unique woman, a very amazing person. And I always wonder, what brought her to America? How did she come from Africa all the way to America? And oftentimes people ask us as Jamaicans, why did you decide to move out of pretty old Jamaica to come to a place like Lockport? Well, I guess me and Blessing, we share similarities when it pertains to immigration and being an immigrant. So, Blessing, who brought you here to the United States?
Actually, my family, my dad did.
What was it like when you arrived here? That you was like in a whole nother country, the culture was different, the food was different, how you live was different. When you came here, was it hard to adjust?
Yes, it was. It was hard. And I remember when I first came here, I was so freezing cold. I have to wear like 3 layers of clothes. And every time I drink the milk, I have to live in the toilet. And then the lemonade, girl, I never drink lemonade before. That thing gave me a run.
What on it? She never drink
Yes.
lemonade.
I never drink. It was a culture shock. I never wear pants. You know, you always wear a skirt when you go to a church. You have to cover your head all the time. No nail painting, no makeup and all that. You could do it after the church, but it was so strict. But came here, it was another different change. It was a culture change. The food, never eat pizza before, noodles. You have to get used to those things. Girl, it was not easy. But when I start getting used to, you see me, now I'm fat.
I ain't gonna lie, guys. Y'all know.
I go get skinny. I was like size 6. Size 6, size
It was
8,
my
yeah.
size.
I was skinny, but now look at me.
So with this adjustment, you know, one of the biggest issues we will have as Jamaican people too is the adjustment of food. Because, you know, so we like what we like. You know, we like our oxtails and we like our curry chicken and we like certain types of food. What are some of the popular food things that you guys eat in Africa?
Well, we like fufu and the soup. Oh, I like the purple soup.
Anybody out here ever eat fufu before? Anybody know what it is?
And then the traditional food, and then the snacks, all those stuff, and then the rice and beans. That thing do something to your soul. The
that food sit in your belly. I ain't gonna hold you. In the last few months for me, I've gotten a lot more deeper in African meals. The igusi is one of my favorite things to eat. I literally will wake up thinking about how I can, you know, manipulate somebody to make me some igusi, because I just like to put my hand in that pounded yam and I like to dip it in there. And even for the okra, Jamaican people, you guys know we like our okra and fish. When I was in Jamaica, I never ate nobody okra. Okay? I hated okra. I've only started liking okra now because of the African culture. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yes, girl. When I used to think about the okra thing, every time I grow up, see the slime, I be like, oh, it's just a throw up. But now, that thing is so good.
Yes, it's very good. So let's go back to Africa for a minute. So now you came here. It was a culture shock. You came here. Your father brought you here. What was your relationship with your dad? And were you excited to come into the country with your dad, or what?
Oh, actually, I was excited to come, but we didn't really have no relationship because I know God bless my my granny, she passed on. But I remember when I first met my dad, first time in my entire life, it was in 2004, and he come to his mom's funeral. I was just standing in front of him and he didn't even know who I was. And then my cousin actually had to introduce me to him. So when I was standing in front, I had to introduce myself to him. And then, you know, when I hugged him, you know, it was just, it feels so great, and it was a shock. And, you know, I always want to see him. And, you know, I always long, you know, to be with him, to hold him. You know, I didn't know what he really looked like. You know, I always hear the story and stuff like that. I just want to know more about him.
So when you came here, just like how the food was a culture shock to you, when you come in this country, was it a shock to you how he was with you? How was his attitude towards you being an adult now, coming to America, transitioning? You didn't know the man. You know, he wasn't in your life, like you said. He didn't even recognize you. So how did you deal with coming from Africa, coming into his... Did you live with him when you moved there?
I did. I lived with my dad, you know, for 1 year. I came in 2006. In early 2007, you know, it was not so good. I mean, the relationship, we didn't really have as much relationship because, you know, with the beating and all that. And then, like, 2007, I believe it was, it has to be spring, during the springtime, because I was still going for the GD and all that. And when it all took place, and, you know, I didn't really know where to go.
But when you say the beating, what do you mean?
The abuse, you know.
So you undergo abuse when you came here?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Guys, listen. For my Jamaican people, when you know already say, abuse ain't nothing new. Y'all know that a lot of our family members, a lot of cultural people, they think that beating you in the head is getting you right. Beating you in the head is going to get you that college degree, but oftentimes it don't. Why do you think he beat you? And were you the only one beaten?
I mean, I heard my sister, you know, how should I say, I have sister, but I mean sister, well, anyways. She did say that he used to discipline them, and, you know, she told me, and then her mom would, you know, have to stop him and stuff like that. But it was because of educational reason, because when I started my GED, my English was not so good then. It was really rough. I could understand you a little bit, but if I say something to you, I have to repeat it over and over and over for you to understand me. So what happened, the teacher, every time I go to the school and stuff like that, she would show me the stuff to do. If I come back to school the next day, I didn't remember the math and all that stuff, so I guess she would report it to my dad. But growing up, I grew up like the teacher had to work everything on the board, but here in America, they just put book in front of you. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, excuse my language, because I didn't get it. You know,
course.
So she would pretty much call my dad and tell my dad, oh, my dad called her, or they would just, have conversation how I was doing and stuff like that if I didn't remember the stuff. So, it was because of education thing, because I wasn't doing so good in school,
Well, a lot of people, blessing, it's so funny how you say that, because I've heard other people say that education was a big thing in their family, and but I don't think that because education is a big thing, it's a bad thing. But you don't beat your kids when they don't understand. So my question is, you were lacking in understanding at that time. You spoke another language. You come into a whole other culture you have no idea about. So for you to grasp these things as quickly as other kids, I don't want you to think that it was normal for you to grasp it. Without a tutor, without help, none of us grasp it. Even as an adult, I don't know if none of y'all is an adult. But anybody got any brain cells that's missing sometimes? Where sometimes I feel like I can't remember something. So imagine when you're young and you don't always understand something, and people make it feel like you have to pay for not understanding. So let me ask you. When you lived in the house, you undergo abuse because education was like the driven motive of this thing. So did your brothers and sisters undergo as much pressure as you did?
No.
What was the difference between them and you?
Ooh, because when I was there, honestly, to be honest with you, up till today, I still don't have a right good relationship, because I didn't really know my dad. And my stepmom, I didn't really know her that much. I heard the story about my dad and, my stepmom and stuff like that. But when I was in the house, pretty much when my dad was not there, I was like the housemaid. I have to do everything, So if my dad is there, my stepmom was like, she was like the goody shoes. But I'm not saying that I was perfect. I'm not. But when he's not there, I have to do the dishes, I have to cook the food, I have to take out the trash, I have to clean, do everything.
And no other kid was allowed to do it. They only delegated that job to you.
To me.
Like Cinderella.
Yes. And this is what she said, if I say anything about, my other sibling. She said to me, oh, they're in school, they do much better than you do in school, and you're not even good in school. What can you do? And her kids are very brilliant and stuff like that. So it's just the comments that she said, till one time she said to me, when your mom was pregnant, she didn't even know who get her pregnant. So while she's saying this thing, I remember standing there in the kitchen next to the stove while she's talking to me. I'm like in my head, if my mom didn't know who get her pregnant, first of all, there is the DNA test that get me here, because I remember when I went to the American embassy, when I messed up the question and the lady was calling him, my dad, and it was an argument between, so they had to do a DNA test, and that matched. But it was just the stuff that she said behind. And then when she went back home, and my lifetime, when you're young, you do stupid thing, like, mind you, I would have been graduate high school a long time ago, to be honest. And my mom, every time she didn't have the money, she could not send me to. I would go to school, but when it comes to taking the regional exam, if you don't have the school fees to take the exam, they kick you right out of school. So I have to repeat grade over and over, to the point I gave up in school. I said, you know what, forget it, because sometimes I used to go to school, I would be saying like my parent died. Literally, I had to say that. That's how bad it was. And then, by God's grace, I don't know what happened. My granny, before she passed, stepped in and helped a little bit. And then my dad started helping. But then, it was bad because to the point I didn't even want to do nothing with education. To me, I was just thinking that
Discouraging.
it was so discouraging. I
Yeah.
didn't get no help.
So you didn't first. Okay, so let me ask you before, guys. Welcome in the chat, everybody. Remember, you can put your comments in the chat. We're talking about Blessing's life, especially with her growing up in Africa, coming here, transitioning, some of the abuse she undergone, and how she overcome those things. And she's now sharing about even her schooling back then. She could have been graduated, but because she didn't have the finances and her father was not there for her, she had to keep repeating grade over and over, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but consistently. So let me ask you, while you was there, was your father, since you didn't know your father, what was the situation why you didn't meet your father? Did your mother ever tell you why you never met your father? You know, because you're suffering and you got a father that's not helping. So I'm trying to figure out what's the disconnect.
Well, it was a long story. I don't know all of it, but growing up, because I remember I used to ask my mom, you know, how come, I don't know my dad, and, how come I don't get to see him and stuff like that? Why am I, so separate? I really want to be with my dad. I want to know him. I don't want to know what it is and stuff like that. Sometimes she will have that look in her face like she want to cry, and, she kind of held back her tears, and she didn't say that much to me. And she said to me, oh, when you grow up, you will get to know your dad. And that didn't answer my question.
So you waited all those years?
Yes, to me, I want to know what happened, because I was the type of kid that I like to ask why. Why is this happening? And so when I go to one of my aunt, God bless her, so she passed on, so I would ask her stuff, and she would just kind of give me a little piece and bit, about my, my dad's side and stuff like that. So even my grandma, but my mom never really tell me,
Did your mom ever tell you why she hid that from you? Is it to protect you? Is it to not make you feel like you're unwanted? Because she took care of you the best she could, but you still have a father that she not answering your question only left you to doubt, only left you with more questions.
I think because of what she experienced during the pregnancy, because I believe it was very humiliating for her. Because while she was pregnant, she didn't tell me personal, but my aunt told me, God bless her soul. But she did not feel welcome to the family, because, mind you, I come from, my mom's side is it was very poor. Like, I remember those days growing up, if you see food to eat, if I get a meal to eat, like 1 day meal, get to eat 2 meals a day, I was so happy. I break out in a dance. You have to give God the glory, because my grandma, God bless her soul, she passed on too. She was the one that kind of provide for us, make sure we had meal to eat, because my grandfather was like a deadbeat grandfather too. He didn't really take care of his kid, and it was a jacked up, dysfunctioning family. And then, so when my mom coming from a poor side of the family, not as much education.
Yeah.
My dad's side was not, accepted, dad. And, that's what I heard. Tell my, my dad to deny it, because, the pregnancy, while my mom was still pregnant, and they didn't even accept her when she go there. She wasn't welcome. It was a very difficult, because sometimes, even like up till now, sometimes when I think about it, I cry. And even up till today, my dad side still don't accept me. I don't know what I have done to them. I have, forgive, with what happened with the abuse, and I didn't call police on my dad. It happened when I went to work. My nosy co-worker see the blood on my neck, and she thought maybe my boyfriend beat me up. At the time I didn't have no boyfriend. So they took me upstairs, because I was working in a nursing home, and they make a report and they call the police. That's how he get arrested.
So let me ask you for a second. I know you said he abused you and stuff, but you're saying this abuse was beyond regular, because at the end of the day, your father beats you up. For a car worker to recognize it, that means it had to be a very visible thing. This is not just, okay, I'm pushing Blessing because you didn't wash your dishes. Oh, I'm gonna push you to your room because you didn't wash your dishes. No, this is. Was it like punches, and what was it like?
It was at first when he started, because I know my little brother, went to the park, to play football, but to one of the school actually. He told me. So when my dad came and he asked me where is so and so, I said he went to play, but I didn't remember the name of the school. And he was very upset, and he's like, "You are adult in the house, and your little brother went to play, and you don't know where he went to play. If something happened to him, you are his responsibility." That kind of went by. Then that happen again. So he asked me. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't remember, but now I remember the name of the school. So, but then I didn't know because
you were new to the country.
I was new, and they like literally expect me to know everything and know what's going on. And I was honestly, I am not a fast learner. I am a slow learner. Up till today, I don't get it like that fast. It takes me time.
Yes.
But he was very upset. And he slapped me real hard on my face. I see stars in my eyes. But mind you, I didn't mind, like my dad, disciplined me. But at the same time, growing up back home, I get beat so much to the point I was just numb, the beat up, like from my mom's sibling. I used to get beat up all the time. So that was just like nothing to me. But, I didn't, I couldn't do nothing because in our culture, you can't speak back. You can't fight your parent. Not like here in this society, you touch your kid, they're going to call the CPS. They're going to jump you, honey. Not like where I come from, You can't do that.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, you experienced this also on your mother's side, you said, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the siblings that you would endure this with? Is it like cousins? Is it like grandparents? Is it like your mother? Because I know it's probably not your mom. Because we do get whooping with the belt growing up, but there's a different level of discipline when you actually hit a child, slapping them across the face. Those things are boundaries crossing. We don't believe in slapping and punching down the hill and trying to correct some behavior. We don't believe in that. What's up? Background people, what's up? You can't tell her now. Is it important? Back up. Chatters, I got people in my background, the kids. They don't know about alive. Chatters, don't mind. We gonna get back to it. Anything else, young man? Okay, you don't need anything else. Come say hi to the people. Come over here.
No, I'm not saying that.
You're gonna be talking in the carrier set. Come say hi to the people. Anyways, Chad, so okay, back to the point. So you go through abuse from the parent side, and you go through it from the. So it wasn't anything new. But what about you? So why is it that you got beat up so much and you're not aggressive? Usually people are aggressive when they get beat up and they're like, I got beat up all my life, so I know how to, But you always been humble since I met you. Been very humble.
I mean, in life, honey, girl, I wasn't. Some people. Not that saying that abuse is the best thing. When you grow up with something, you just get numb to it. It's just like become your everyday life. I never grew up thinking, nobody come out of the family or anybody expect is gonna beat her. From my grandfather, I remember that man beat me up so bad. It was just that like 5 finger in my face. He said to me, he don't know what is in me. And I remember when I go to church, because Jesus was everything to me. Lord, forgive me for saying it like that. You're still everything to me, Lord, because you brought me this far. But I remember he beat me up so bad, and then I used to go to church all the time. You mentioned Jesus, I'm out. They locked me out of the house. I didn't care. Jesus was my life.
So you were fighting. You are fighting. It's not just a physical thing you were enduring, but you were also enduring the spiritual backlash of being a Bible thumper, they say, or a little girl that loves Jesus. You getting whooping left, right, and center. It don't matter. Listen, you call Jesus' name, I'ma bust you. You set up too cute, I'ma bust you. So pretty much at this point, you went through a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
And you came here. They expected her to adjust. They expected her to know things. She didn't, and there was discrimination there. So let me ask you: with the siblings living in the house with you, how did they treat you? Your own half sisters or stepsister? Did they treat you with any more care? Did they have empathy for you when you used to get beat up, slapped in your face? Did any of them beat you up too? Like, what was the dynamic? Guys, put your questions in the chat.
They didn't beat me up, but it's just like my other sister, like she's one of the twins. She was rude and sometimes, and you know, but you know, sometimes you can't help it because at the end of the day, you know, we share the same father. But her mom in the house, if she do anything, you know, she know her mom's gonna back her up. But me, I was a black sheep who's gonna back me up. You know, literally you're on your own. But you know, I never really experienced them getting whooping, none of that. You know, or even calling names because you know, along with all this whooping, abusing I was going through, I was calling all kinds of names to the point I began to lose respect, fear of my father when this thing happened. I didn't want nothing to do with a man. I didn't even, not that I'm gay, no, I don't like female, but anyways, like at that point, you know, I didn't want nothing to do with a man because it was to the point I was, you know, always waiting, you know, when I see him, want to know him, you know, just, you know, I never have a father figure in my life before up till today. I still don't, but
With every abuse, it make you be turned off by a man. And she clarified it doesn't mean that she wanted a woman. But even in the same sense, let's use an example. Let's say per se she went on to a woman. A lot of women today are, you know, so-called gay according to their feelings because they have been abused by men and they decide, listen, I'm no longer ever putting my trust in a man again. And another woman can emotionally understand me. Well, this in her sense, she's not saying she ever went to a woman, but with the physical abuse from a male character within itself. When you think about it, you don't want to have nothing to do with a man when they always beat you. Your own grandfather that's supposed to protect you beat you. Your own mother, not mother, but father beat you. And all these things, when you really think about it, it creates a boundary around it. So somebody has a question. Jamar said, I'm interested in knowing what she used as a coping mechanism. How have you coped when you were living with this thing?
Honey,
Put your question in the chat, guys.
honey, let me tell you something. It's not, you know, at the end of the day, in this life, when we go through this abuse and all this stuff in life, Jesus is everything. God is my rescue. He's my source. Because if it's not God, I would have been dead so many times. It's not that I'm strong. I'm, you know, even right now, I go through physical pain, emotional, spiritual pain, and all that fighting. But God is at everything because, you know, without God, I am nothing. I know, you know, since I was a little girl, a little kid, I did not have a relationship with God then, but I know that God is real because I experienced him so many times in my dream. He always come for my rescue. But that was what gave me the, the hope and the courage because the word of God itself is very powerful. That's what keeps us grounded because if you go look in the Bible, you know, the people in the life in the Bible, you know, they go through abuse and all kinds of stuff in the family, dysfunctional and everything. But who am I to complain? But my thing, God, give me the grace and the peace to endure it because I know He already gave it to me, but I just have to be thankful and just thank the Lord for giving me the opportunity to experience life, you know, despite all the pain and the abuse, you know.
So where was God when you were being abused when you came first, right? Mm-hmm. Some people would say, where was God? So,
was there.
So my question to you is, were you still a strong believer? Because as a young girl, you always loved the Lord. Your grandfather beat you for calling the name. God, they locked you at the house. But when you came into your father's house physically here, when he beat you, did you still go to your room and cry to the Lord?
I remember because I came here with my Bible.
Yeah.
I came here with my Bible. It was the outside cover was red. And I believe it was in my language, if I'm not lying. But I did lost that Bible because I leave it there. But I remember because we used to share the room, you know, like three girls, I believe four. We have the bunk bed in the room. Every time this thing happened, I would go and start reading my Bible. But when my dad would start calling me name with all this stuff that was going on, it was just something inside of me was just rising. You know, the more he called me name, it's just like it was something just rising in me. I am better than this. I am more than this. I am more than a conqueror. You know, nothing that he said can hurt me or harm me. He's just a man speaking. But, you know, sometimes in life we have it bad for somebody, but God, plan and thought and desire is more than our thought, because at the end of the day, yes, the word that people say that was supposed to date for you to help you, have effect, it could destroy your life. But the word of God is everything, because I know that God have a plan for me, no matter what circumstances I am in. The Lord have a plan, because I know He loved me. He said He would never leave me nor forsake me. That's what give me go, because God is a covenant keeper. He does not, slack. He always make a way out of nowhere.
Well, listen, we have some people in these YouTube streets right now. They've been through a lot in their life, and instead of using God as a resource blessing, they run around and they cuss people and they argue, and that anger sets in. You could have been an angry woman because, number one, the closest people to you abused you, and you ended up coming to a new country with knowing nobody or nothing. So it's like a fish out of water in a sense. So my question to you will be, when you moved on from your father's house, when you moved out, what was it like looking for love, or did you seek a boyfriend to get love from? Because usually young people are there. I don't know if anybody missing a father, but most time when women don't are not loved by the father, or abandoned in a sense, they seek that love from their partners. So tell me about, when you moved out, did you seek love in a boyfriend? What were you like at that time?
No, it was scary, when this thing happened, like I said, one of my coworkers found a blood and reported to the church nurse, and they have to treat it, and then at that time I was working evening shift. That I was a laundry aide in the nursing home. So, and then my other coworker came in. She was just telling me, no, my other coworker came, but the lady that saw the blood on my neck, reported, then they were talking about it. And then she like, you could come to my house, you're gonna be okay, just stay with me. And I was so scared, I was terrified. I remember, when they live in Newfoundland, then I remember she took me to her dad's house, because she used to live with her dad. And then she bought some drink. I said to her, I just want to get drunk. I just want to pass out. Like I started drinking, and, like every time I think about my family and the pain, the hurt, all I remember that God loved me no matter what. Like my faith did not that my faith now is not strong. My faith then was strong, because when I think about it, what the Lord had brought me so far, and with what I was going through this, I said, well, Jesus, if you make a way for me to get here, you're going to make a way for me to get out of this situation. I didn't have no boyfriend, but it's kind of funny how this thing went on too, because it seemed like it was, at the same time was the Lord planning, because sometimes it doesn't make no sense, because in reality, we live in a world this day that everybody want to be even, and say, where was God when, like she said, when I needed help? God was there. Even like the story of Joseph, God was there when the Potiphar wife trying to sleep with Joseph, and Joseph run, and then she blamed everything on him. They lock him up in the prison. God was there the whole entire time. But sometimes when we're going through things, sometimes it's like the presence of the Lord is not there. But He's there. He sees everything. He made a way out of nowhere, because, mind you, when I moved to stay in a shelter, I went to stay in a shelter. And for like a month, this thing happened in spring. Between June, I was they moved me from a shelter to domestic violence, apartment. And then I was staying there within, like, in July of that year, I was pregnant with my son.
Hold on. So you never reported on your own father that did this situation?
No, I did not.
But the world doesn't know. What type of profession is your father?
He was, I believe he was a registered nurse at the house.
What is he now?
He's a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
So pretty much he makes guap. The man got money. These are money people. So you're thinking, psychology, nursing, care, love, empathy, sympathy. But sometimes even in families, guys, that's why even in, we encourage all the mothers out there, all the fathers, all the marital, situations out there. Because when kids ended up, they're in a position where their fathers are not around. When you think about the dynamic of one family being this way, one family being that way, I'm telling you, you are really shining like a diamond to be able to undergo so much things and then still have God in the forefront. The question I asked before is, where was God when your stepfather was beating you? Because those are the thoughts that often come to your mind. Those are the things that, we can say, well, God, you weren't around when this man was beating me. And he was. But even in that moment, even through that endurance, everything she'd been through, look at where she's at now. Her statement was, hey, I had a lot of faith back then. But let me tell y'all something. She have the faith now too. It's just that God has opened that door. She's no longer living in a home that's, abusive. She's no longer in a situation where she got to look around and wonder what's going on. So you moved on in a relationship, not that often, not quickly, because while you were scared. Then how did you get pregnant?
Well, long story short.
China, put your question in the chat if you have a question.
Long story short, because this one here, I'm telling you, the Lord have a plan and a purpose, because when I moved to that apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, as the lady moved me to this apartment, so she showed me an apartment around and stuff like that. He said, how do you like it? I said, it's nice, but a part of me, I was scared like a chicken.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm trying to live by myself and stuff like that. Mind you, if I was from here, it was just like it's the normal life, I'm grown, I go get my own place and do me, that's what they say, do me. So, but at the same time, dude, I was so scared like a chicken, right?
Right.
So when I moved, I didn't have nothing in my apartment. I remember when I moved in there, we used to sit on the floor, you watch TV, the TV was on the floor. I had
from the bottom, now we're here.
Yes, I had Jesus Is My Witness. I have them old TV, like them old grandma fashion, no grandma, no offense for grandma. The old fashioned TV, man, listen, that TV was like everything. I got a blanket.
Is it the box one? Is it the box?
Yeah, I was sleeping on the floor then. So as she walked me down to the kitchen, and then she was take me to the kitchen to show me the kitchen, like something in my belly was like it's like a lip in my womb, and I was shocked. And she looked at me.
Wait a minute.
Listen, this is not funny. This is true. Jesus is my witness. Like, the lady looked at me. She like, are you okay, Blessing? I look at her. She's like, you look at me like I have 3 8s or what head, what's wrong with you? I said, no, I'm kind of dizzy. She pulled a chair for me. She said, sit down. I sit down. So in July, I was pregnant with my son. Like, you asked me again. So when I met his dad, listen. And then, I went to the library. So I was walking out of the library, coming out of the library. I didn't have a car. I used to walk everywhere anyways. So, I see this man driving in a green car. He said, he put the car with a loud music. I'm like, oh, Lord, I don't want to talk to you.
So you had a loud music, man?
Listen, I'm like, I don't even know you. I just get jacked up with my dad. I don't even know what you want,
Right.
But anyway, so... And then he parked the car and, he started chasing me down. And my thing, I want to run. I don't want to be with no man.
Right.
I don't know what you're going to do.
And your experiences have not been that good with men.
No, because I'm not, by the way, being in the house too with some sexual stuff go on too. But anyway, so, and then he chased me down to give my name, and I didn't want to be rude. So I tell him my name, and he asked me my number. I gave him my number. I believe he called me that day. That part there, I don't remember. Or I call him. And then it was just a one-night stand. That's what they call it. Just one time. I was pregnant. It was not so great. No offense for the baby daddy. I'm sorry. Just like that. I didn't even know I was listening.
You moved out the daddy house. You moved out the daddy house. You were scared. You're trying to get your place. You haven't been with no man. But in this time, you're like, okay, this man showing a little love. Even though she's still scared, but you ended up pregnatal.
Yeah.
And you was getting into your place and you felt that baby leap in your belly?
I guess so.
Oh my God.
I guess that's what the Lord said. You're not going to be by yourself in this journey. But anyway.
So how did it work? Okay, I'm answering the next question. Give me a minute. How did you having your one son, and yes, she only has one son. How did you having your one son change your life? Because people that are watching out there, remember now, she already don't have anybody in this country. Her very own father don't want to have nothing to do with her. She's the black sheep, the Cinderella in her family. At this point, she's undergoing physical abuse alongside other types of mental abuse. Okay, so now she's moving out, not knowing this country, not knowing what's going to happen. So now she pregnant. Boom. God, why am I going to be pregnant when I don't have nobody already? So are you giving me a little somebody I can love, or somebody that can love me? So tell me, how did you feel about the pregnancy during this weird time?
It was scary. And like when this thing happened, I didn't even know I was pregnant. It was, I know I did something with a man,
Hey, chatters! She know what she do.
Listen, in like it was like about 3 months, right? So I started spotting, female thing, and I'm like, this is weird. And then as soon as I went to the doctor, they took me off work, and they said that I was doing too much. If I go back to work, the baby's gonna die.
Ooh, wow.
Was,
so you were in like a, what they call it, sensitive pregnancy or something like that?
I guess my body was doing too much because I used to literally go to work every day. I was just doing anything to keep me busy so I wouldn't, get into depression, thinking about my family and all that stuff, because it was still going on, and this trauma was still going on in my brain.
Wow.
It was just like a plague going on, but
All right, somebody says, how do you look at these people now? Do you resent them? Can you say you've truly forgiven them? Do you have flashbacks? That's a very good question, Jameer. A very good question.
I would truly say from the bottom of my heart, but if it's not clean, Lord, please help me remove it. I forgive them. Because you know why? I remember not too long, I believe it's this year. It has to be this year or last year. I met with my sibling, my second sister, my little sister. So I see them at the store at Aldi, right? But I was trying to hide my face, I'm like, I don't want them to see me. I'm like, something in my, say, that's your blood, you can pass by, without saying hi to your blood. I didn't want to say nothing. I said, you know what? I am better than this. At the end of the day, no matter what they do, I still love them. Sometimes I would see my stepmom at the store. She would talk to me. Sometimes she would not getting to know too much about my information. I just tell her what she want to know. I don't have no secret, but either way, I am open, at the end of the day, I have to forgive them for me, because I know that everything is not perfect, but, if they want the relationship, I always open the door. I would like to,
So what about your baby? You had this baby. Mm-hmm. There's a grandbaby right now in the making. You moved out your father's house. Mm-hmm. How is the relationship with your son now? With them, do they have a relationship? Do they care? Do they show you any kind of more love or a little bit of niceness?
No.
But you still walk in forgiveness.
I told my dad when I had Philip, I told him I have a child, and he told me, that is your own child. He hung up the phone on me. And then, later on, I moved on in life. I called him, I said I was getting married. I didn't even finish the conversation. He hung up the phone on me. So I try, even sometimes I would see him, because we used the same bank. I would see him at the bank. I remember I see him at the bank. I say, hi, Dad, in front of him. I stand in front. This is not a make-up fake story. This is true life story. Wow. Because sometimes, when things happen to you, when nobody really can, fight for you, the Lord is doing the fight. Because sometimes there's people that go through hell in this life that they don't want to put it out there like that. But my thing in this life, I thank God for life, but I let Jesus do my fighting for me. But anyways, go back to this story. So I see my dad, so many times at the bank, I would say, hi, Dad. Literally in front of him, he act like I don't even exist. I say, hi, Dad, over and over. You just act.
How do you feel? So you're saying, hi, Dad, and it's almost like talking to a mannequin. This man is not acknowledging that you're there. My thing is, I wonder in myself, what is it that he carries so much that it seems as though he can't stand you?
I don't know.
Is it because, you are oops? Are you considered an oops baby?
Pretty much so. I think so, because, according, they kind of come out of the, I'm not saying that everything was perfect, because don't get me wrong, my dad is a hardworking person. He went to school while he was in, he had like 2 jobs. He go to school full time. I don't know how he did it. And that's what my stepmom expect me to do like him. But at the end of the day, I am not my dad. And that's what this one of the saying used to say, that he's not me, I'm not him. That's him, he's a man, but I'm not using it as excuse. But at the same time, I could not, be anything. I guess I did not fulfill the purpose, whatever. I was not good enough for the family, even like back home when before I came here with my other uncle, God bless his soul. And I was not even fully accepted, fully, welcome to the family, and maybe probably, at the standpoint of view, just me, because I never really fully accepted, though I'm blood to the family, but I never fully accepted. I always feel invisible. Like
You're the black sheep in the group.
nobody care. Like, if something wrong, I was like the main reason that stuff was happening or something was wrong. And I always pray. And I remember even when I was a little kid, I always had this like I always oppressed and being oppressed and everything. I always feel so sad, broken, lonely, and Lord, why is this happening to me? What was the purpose that I was born? Why was I come to this family? To the point, there's a time that I was telling people, that's not my family. I don't know those people.
I remember meeting Blessing, guys, and let me tell you a little bit about my experience. Like I said, put your questions in the chat. I remember meeting Blessing, and she was one of the nicest young women ever. But I knew also that she'd been through a lot. And anytime she shared her family, as we got close over the years, anytime she shares her family story with me, just whatever she chooses to share, I just remember it being so emotional. And those tears that, I watched my sister shed were just so deep. But what I'm very happy about now is this blessing I'm looking at now is a transition blessing, a matured blessing. We're not, talking about perfection, but all of her life, it's been a battle, which means this is why she stands so firmly on God, because all of her life, it's been a battle. Tell the people even about you born in premature and almost dying at a young age, because people don't understand the journey of when God chooses you is from the womb. It's not just now. No. So from the womb, the devil did want to take you, but it didn't happen. So tell them about that little, when you were born.
And the enemy is still fighting, but the Lord already won the battle. But
yes.
Anyways.
Yes.
So, I was born 2 pounds 8 ounces, and I was, was really tiny, and I believe with all the dysfunction that was going on with the family, I think my mom was going through stress in her body, because like I said again, my dad's side never really accepted her, and then they had to put me on the what they call that thing, when the baby is not, to stay in the incubator, yes. And I was there till the money run out.
Another one.
That's the story that I heard. Money run out, and they had to unplug me, and I was to the point of dying. And then my mom, they bring me home. I remember growing up, waking up, because I did not grow up going to school like a normal kid. I believe I went to school between around 10 or 8 years old.
Guys, she grew up in Africa. And when she grew up, just to clarify, you don't start school at 8 or 10 years old. Yeah. So when you starting off school here, you starting off at what, 3, 4? And even earlier, kids are in daycare learning. So think of that gap of her not having the proper education that children literally needs in that pivotal, sensitive time of their life. She mentioned earlier about if she had one meal, she was happy to have that meal. She grew up really poor. So go ahead, Blessing.
Yeah, so I remember, I wasn't quite sure, and I used to be because we didn't have, since I came to America, no, I'm lying. So I came to my uncle's house in the city. That's when the first time I ever lay in the mattress, because we always lay on the floor, sleep on the floor, or sleep on the...
So you first lay on a mattress in America?
Yeah, no.
Wait.
In the city when I moved to my uncle, but growing up with my mom's side, because we were so poor, we always lay on the wooded, the wood. That was the bed. That was the real deal. I remember when I wake up, when I get up on that table, I will cry, and I was sick with all kinds of sickness. I have asthma. All kinds of stuff. My lungs was full with fluid, and to the point that, the doctor literally, they pronounced me dead. And my grandma used to pray, and she did not give up. And then I remember when I get up, look around, will see a lady. My mom used to sit at there toward the end of the table, just cry over and over, cry and cry. My brain was not fully developed. I'm telling you, the battle goes on, and mind you, it's a real spiritual attack, because since I was a little kid, I used to see stuff like I would be just, I believe it was, I always say a dream, but it's a vision. The Lord would just show me things, and since I was a little kid, like, even up till now, it's still attack, but my thing is, the Lord's gonna have His way in everything in life, because I'm not giving up on God, because God is my everything.
Yes, somebody says in here, pressure is inevitable for purpose. People, I'm happy you didn't throw the towel in. I am happy she didn't throw the towel in either. And like she said, the only source and resource she had was God. No, you are a young woman. How old are you now? Tell the people how old you are now.
I am 36 years old.
36, coming from a 2 pound, 8 ounces. Brain is not fully developed. The doctors pronounce you dead. This, that, and the third. You ain't have food all your life. You got beat half of your life. If God ain't talking, I don't know who is.
Woo,
Okay. If God ain't talking, I don't know who is. I want to encourage somebody out there. It doesn't matter your abuse. When you come out of it, Sister Blessing can come now and share the story. I tell people, God's will is not that when you have been through your hardship, is that it tears you down. When you have been through the suffering, is that you never use it again and you tossed it away as though you never endured that. But Sister Blessing can look now and say, listen, I'm a light. Listen, my father beat me. My family do me in. My baby father, it was a one-night stand, like she said. But here I am. God has blessed me with a child. Tell me about, since you were suffering that, during that time, your father, you moving out, you getting a son. Tell me what that did for you physically and spiritually and mentally as a woman.
Well, oh my goodness. First of all, when this man gave me pregnant, right, one night stand, the whole pregnancy, if you guys ever heard this, the whole pregnancy, I was on my own. No intercourse with no man, nothing. The whole time, I didn't even... that if I call this man for help, it's like, oh, I'm out of town. But mind you, I never finished my GED too. I was in and out, right? And then one time I met him with a big old belly. He saw me standing with his friend. Literally, I see him. This man didn't even say a word to me. He act like he didn't know me. I act like I didn't know him, You gotta play that game back. I didn't know what that meant. So my thing is, the whole pregnancy, this man never get no help, no nothing. So when I had the baby, you wasn't there. I'm not telling you. I was so excited, to meet with my son, because that was the only, the whole family that I had, the only joy. I could not wait, I had to walk everywhere with my big old belly. I was huge.
Listen, I'm a witness to that. This girl put on like 100 pounds and had to be on bed rest. This girl was huge. Guys, listen, I was around to witness some of this. When she walked in, that belly was like,
yeah.
But now that you wasn't involved with the baby father, was it hard for you not to... I know it was a one-night stand, but is a part of you wanting to work it out at least with him or nothing? Did you feel like, okay, or did you feel like, I don't need another man. I got the baby now. I don't need you. Go away, because all you do is abuse me. How did you feel?
At first, at first when I tell him, because he didn't want me to keep the baby, he wanted me to abort the baby. He told me the first time, and then he,
typical.
He came back again. He's like, I don't got no money. I can't even take care of myself. Do you want to abort the baby? I said, I was about 3 months pregnant.
I know he lying, trying to have you abort at 3 months.
Not abort at 3 months. Not that I never do abortion before. I am not saying that it's okay to talk about it. It's still sin, The Lord forgive me. It's past, but it was wrong. But it was early, never like up to 3 months baby. Like that's a baby that is growing already big. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm not aborting my baby. I'm just gonna keep it. So, and then he disappeared. Like I was saying again, I didn't, he never show up in the picture. So when he started showing up, he wanted a relationship. I didn't want a relationship. I just want him to help me with her son, because I had to go to work. And the weekend I couldn't get no daycare, because social service was helping, paying for the daycare. But then the weekend I couldn't find no daycare. So, I said to him, you could have just come babysit your son on the weekend while I go to work. And he did that, but eventually in a relationship we tried, but it didn't work out because he was just, go out, party, do what he do. And then and then we started trying to try things out of, but my spirit, it did not like him. We could talk physically, but if he have to come to have sex, anything else, it's like my spirit was just.
You wasn't the one.
No.
Woman,
No.
big woman out there, wanna know already what it means when your spirit can't take a boy?
No.
Jamaican people, you know what it means when your spirit cannot take a boy. That's the situation here. God blessed her with this child. It wasn't planned, trust me. But, maybe her trying to lay up back with this man, it was like, you already got your baby. So God blessed her with a child. So sometimes some bad situations happen. Yes, she wasn't married yet. Yes, she had that baby at the wedlock. So what? She still didn't give up on God. What did she do? She took care of her son. And that very son right now is a blessing. Listen, he around here running up and down somewhere. Y'all heard me address him earlier. This son is around. He's looking good, healthy, just such an amazing and smart young man. So let me ask you, Blessing. Moving on from that, eventually my sister Blessing had gotten married. Now Blessing, been married a little while, and I don't know about y'all. All of my big women out there, you guys know about marriages, but tell me what make you got married. Tell hold on, people. Ha! People, put your comment in the chat. This is my girl, Blessing Obat. She's telling the truth. She's not ashamed of this. But you married and it didn't work. What happened?
Well,
give them a little gist. You ain't got to give it everything because your story is long. Give them a little why it didn't work out for you.
Well, it was, first of all, it was older than me. I didn't mind it, it was older, but it was more like very controlling, and he was on drugs. I did not know, that he was on drugs. But before I met him, because he always, when he get out of work, I met him at a church, and he always looked dirty. I think he was a hard working man, which he was then. But I did not know that he was, using drugs and all kinds.
Wait a minute. Wait, it ain't chatter. This ain't no laughing matter.
Mm-hmm.
You say you met him at a church and he was always dirty, so you thought he was dirty from working?
He was something he would get out of work. Like he would, have his work clothes when he get out of work and stuff like that. Yeah.
Tell me no, Blessing.
So
how he get you? How did he get a young, beautiful queen like you?
We talked, and at first he tried for a minute, and then I was like, but eventually I started talking to her. But I would say it was my lust then, because sometimes you have this lust, this sensation, you gotta have a man. That was my lust that driving me there. But if I could have waited, I believe the Lord will bless me with something better. But and it never really happened to work out.
Yeah. So it never happened to work out. And that's fine. Because God kept her this far and she ever lost her mind. I know, Blessing, we're just giving people a little bit of gist of it. Because we know that when you've been in a marriage, you have to endure a lot. No, you stated earlier that he was on drugs and you didn't know. How did you find out that your husband's on drugs and you didn't know? And it's very, guys, don't think it new. Remember a couple days ago, I mentioned to you guys about my best friend being in prison. And drugs was one of the reasons behind why she ended up behind prison. Whether she had a criminal record before or not. And she didn't have any. But when drugs is involved in anything, you don't know the limits and the boundaries that, things can be broken because of drugs. So let me ask you, how did you start finding out that your man is on drugs? You don't marry the man. I was at the wedding. You looking good, girl. You wedding just popping. Like how did you start finding out this man is on drugs?
Well, when he go to work, money was missing, and I didn't really see his paycheck, and it was the good job that he had. I don't know what happened. Within a year of being married, a year or two, he lost that job, and then everything started went south. You know, he couldn't keep no job. And then if he happened to keep a job, it would be like 3 guys. It would be three. The 6 month was long. And then you gotta even see the paycheck and money be missing. If I buy any like a tablet, you know, laptop for my son or for me, it ended up missing. The smart TV was gone.
So your husband was stealing your TVs. Your husband was stealing your tablets. Your husband was stealing computers. So those are some of the things.
Money, like I had so much overdraft with my bank account because we could not use the same bank account because whatever he did to the bank, you know, anything credit union, he could not open a bank account there. But it was hell, and it was
hell
rough.
to pay.
And then the police he would do a crazy stuff. The police was there in and out of the house literally every week taking report. Sometimes when I come from work, I will see the officers and they're working night shift, or maybe just come from work. I say to the officer, why you guys keep coming here and, you know, take report? You know, he making a false statement. He should be getting charged.
So he was making a report on who though?
It was just like one time. He take something, I don't know what, he sliced his tires and he called the police, and I said, out of this car is sitting here, out of all these cars on the street, somebody just come and find your tire and slice your tire.
So he was creating issues for himself.
He will break stuff and break stuff around the house and say that somebody break in.
Yeah.
And then he called the police. He would just call police for stupid random stuff, and you know, it was a mess, but it was experience, you know.
So when did you have enough? How many years in? First of all, how long were you married, first of all, for the viewers?
We married, I mean, by law we still married, but we're not together anymore.
Yeah, how long were you married?
8 years, together 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long, blessing. It feels like blinky. I quit my eye right now and I feel like it's not been 10 years, but it's been, guys. I've been around with Blessing from before she got married. Yeah. So, all right. So you moved on now. Everything is coming to a finalization. Do you communicate with this man? How do you feel about this man? I'm not saying you're going to get back nothing, but as a young woman, he was very older. How many years older he was?
Oh my God.
Tell the people, man. Tell the people.
18 years old.
18. She like big man. Listen, and this is a funny thing. Understand it, not for giggles or laughs, but she is such a simple woman. It wasn't about the age. It's about loving somebody. It's about being there for your husband or for your wife. But in this sense, you know, as a wife, you want to work it out, but your own man take it from you. What you do, you know. Chatters, let me see what you guys are saying in the comment area. No, I know that some of my bigger man them out there, I know y'all done been through some situations, okay? But I always want to continue to bring on younger people, younger generations on here to let you guys know we are associated with people that been somewhere. This ain't no fly-by-night situation. This ain't no situation of somebody that ain't been nowhere. From she was planted in the womb, okay? The devil tried to take her, okay? She was born 2 pounds, 8 ounces? Listen, and most babies don't make it. And the doctor was ready to pronounce her dead. So through all her tribulations and through all her trials, here she is. And Blessing Nobody's story goes deeper and deeper. But now, through that marriage, through that abuse with the parents, family not being around, do you feel like you have a new family? Because you're still in America. Your daddy still don't talk to you like that. So what do you feel about the people around you now?
Well, I just, the church family is mostly my family, you know. You know, even up till today, it still affect me. I'm not gonna say that everything is good and perfect. No, it does affect because blood is the blood. You know, sometimes I have the moments that I just like, I want to be around my family and stuff like that. But I try and it doesn't work out. But you know, I don't know, because at the same time I'm scared too. You know. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna say? You know, might think you never accept me then. What's gonna make you accept me now?
Are you okay with them not accepting you, or does it still hurt a little bit? Truthfully.
To be honest, I would like to have family with I would like to be with my family,
Your own blood, physically.
My own blood, and then, and also with my son to have a relationship with them. Because, you just have them days, sometimes not sometimes all the time I just feel like a fatherless child and a motherless child and stuff like that. And it's a pain that, I have to endure part of the life, and I tried my best. I didn't bring myself to this life, but I don't know what I did, but
Well, blessing.
you know,
God is a father to the fatherless. He's
yeah.
a mother to the motherless. He's a friend to the friendless, a brother to the brotherless, and a sister to the sisterless. And what I want to tell you is, I am very happy that blessing is in my life. And this is my sister. Listen, we don't got to be blood, okay? We don't got to be blood. But let me tell you something with the body of Christ. When God hook we and crook we, will you get my charger? Come on, phone with that. God, right here. When God hook we and crook we, let me tell you right now, nothing can stop us. Let me plug my phone in, chatters. Nothing can stop us. Now, somebody says, and that's why I tell people, don't judge persons who put friends over family. You may never know. You never know. So pretty much her family wasn't existent. So God has blessed her with friends, but she also desires that. So I do hope that one day that her family can really see and understand that, God created us all different. And at the end of the day, we don't want no issues, but to grow and to just be transformed by God. Blessing, I thank you for coming on Chit TV.
No problem.
I appreciate you. You can just walk on and go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's just
Shots
a
us.
little bit of it, but it's a lot.
Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it.
Nice talking to you
Nice.
guys.
All right, guys. Come on over, MMA. Come on over, MMA. I got 2 people on here for y'all today, guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Guys, I told y'all I wanted to upload an exclusive interview with you guys. And I did the interview, but I was having so much technical issues with transporting it on YouTube. I don't know what's wrong with the file, but we got our MMA man right here. Mixed martial arts. Woo!
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Woo!
Woo! Y'all know we posted that video a couple weeks back with this man getting his butt whooped, okay? But he was confident about getting his butt whooped because guess what? It was his first fight. And I've been watching him go through this transition of what fighting is and getting past it and, busting people down. Now, I want to know, Willie, what made you decide to start fighting? Because you were a shy man when I met you, half quiet when I met you. So, how did this journey start?
Well, it all started with me having the time and the money to go to the gym because I knew it was pretty pricey. But I just wanted to fight. The first time, like I had 2 reasons why I wanted to fight. One is because I was a nerd. I like stuff like Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Power Rangers, and all that stuff. Like I grew up, I really wanted to do those things. And then the other side is I didn't want nobody to think I was soft, and I wanted to stand my ground and just show people I wasn't no punk. So
Was you not showing that you were not a punk? Was that the main motive to this, in a sense? Maybe not.
I mean,
Tell me about a little bit about that. What make about fighting make you feel like you want to prove something, or what about it that make you feel like you want to be a punk?
I had a situation a while ago where my brothers had this a long time ago. We was like kids. My brothers had this beef with this group that called us RNO, which stands for Real Niggas Only. but that's what they call themselves, right? So I don't know. They apparently they was gonna come to the house. They want to fight. Now my brothers are getting ready. They're getting ready to fight and everything. And
Keep talking, Willie.
all right, my brothers are getting ready to fight. And I was terrified. I didn't want no parts of it. So what they did. What happened was these guys come to the house. My brothers are putting pipe wrenches and stuff in the snow. It was winter season at the time, and I live here in Western New York, so it snows. But anyway, they're putting stuff stuff to use as weapons in the snow just in case they come and get ready to fight. Now I feel like this is about to happen, so at the last minute or whatever, I ended up just leaving the house. I just told them I didn't want no parts of this. I left the house. I was going for about maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I got some donuts, right? I come back. Ain't nothing happened, but one of my brothers is mad that I ran off, and I offered him some donuts and he smacked it out of my hands.
Wow.
He was mad at me, and I was just talked about. And I was just picked on by them about running away from a fight, and I just vowed like I will never run away from a fight again. Honestly, like I want to say I don't beyond looking back at it now. I don't think it was. I don't think it's a good thing because there's a lot of things I internalized. So like it were small altercations where maybe I should walk away or whatever. I'm like quick to stand my ground to prove myself because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm soft. So.
Right. So pretty much you can just say that your intentions initially going into it may not have been as clear as it should have been. But while you were in it, I noticed that your journey was very enlightening even to me. When I came to the fight and I watched you fight, you looked at good. I watched you also go through weeks of training. And I also watched you go through a real gruesome 2 weeks, 3 weeks out post-fight, knowing that you're going to fight and getting your body together. And also watching the effects that come behind a swift or expeditious diet change. Because guys, you got to think about it. These fights, you have to prepare. You have to be within a weight limit, right? Am I right?
Yes, weight
classes. Tell them about the weight classes.
All right, there's weight classes. I'm trying to fight at 185. I took the fight on 3 weeks' notice against a guy who already had 4 fights, which is by itself sound crazy. This is my very first fight, and I'm fighting an experienced guy on very short notice. For these fights, you want to have like at least 6 to 8 weeks to prepare. I took it on 3, and I remember before I was at a friend's. As you can tell by the hat, I'm a Bills fan. So
Go Bills!
Go Bills!
Woo!
So one of my friends had like a watch party for the Bills game, and I'm stuffing cupcakes. He's like, Willie, you shouldn't be eating like that. I'm like, I'm all season. I'm eating. 4 days later, I took the fight. I accepted it, and now I'm regretting that day. But so now when I accepted the fight, I was at 202. Within 3 weeks, I went to 179. My math is a little off because of Russian, but that's kind of like almost a 30-pound jump.
Yes, it was. And give the people a little bit about sacrifice, because you could not go from 200 pounds down to what, 180 or 70 or 85 or whatever amount you went down to with just, regular schmegular. Tell them a little bit about how that affected you and what the diet plan would look like.
Well, what I did intermittent fasting. I went on a whole I just went keto, which is like high fat, low carb. So I just from 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock I would eat stuff, but I would just eat meat constantly. Anything that involved fats, I would try to cut carbs out. And then from 10 o'clock at night until 3 in the afternoon the next day, I wouldn't eat anything. And then later on, as the days get by, I started to change my diet more. I started to change it more. So now I'm eating once a day, and this stuff is tough. Like, you really got to be disciplined. You really got to be disciplined. You really got to be in it. I mean, I'm constantly on the treadmill. I mean, there's certain things that I didn't do. For example, at the church we had a thing for Pastor's birthday, but I didn't go to it because I know I had the fight coming up. So after church, I'm headed straight to the treadmill, and I'm on that treadmill getting the miles in. This is serious stuff. If you don't take it serious, you're gonna go in there. You're gonna get hurt really bad because that guy's not caring about you. That guy's out there to kill you.
Absolutely. Guys, I shared this fight. I'm going to repost it after this interview. I'm going to repost it in the community tab so you guys can rewatch the fight again. Let me tell you guys, I posted it way before. And like I said, I had some issues uploading the official interview we did. So I said, you know what? Today's a good day. We're all chilling with the peeps and fams. Okay, we're going to have a couple people come in and interview just to let you guys know. But you went out and you did a fight that you were super nervous about. As a friend, I can look, I say, oh, wow, he done changed up his diet. He done did all this stuff. And I'm ready to come watch him fight. Were you nervous about this fight? Were you intimidated by the person you're fighting? And did you feel like you may have going to lose or win? Did you feel like you were going to lose or win?
Yeah, well, yeah. When I first took it, I felt the nerves, but then like the nerves kind of go away when you up here cutting weight, because now you just want the weight cut to stop. Anybody can tell you that. Like the hardest part of preparing for the fight is like it's the weight cut. So like I just wanted to get through that, which I did, and I made weight. But now like I'm feeling calm. The day of the fight, I'm feeling calm. You know, they gave me a hotel room. I fought in the Niagara Falls Casino. So they gave me the room, and you know I'm chilling there taking a nap. I feel calm. But now as the time goes by, it's getting closer. I'm wrapping my hands. I'm getting my hands wrapped, and so the nerves start setting in. You know, I'm hitting the pads. I see other people. Warming up. I also see my opponent a couple times, and that kind of got in my head because now I'm scoping him out like what he looked like. He got bigger muscles than me.
Oh my God!
Yo,
So you were peeping if this man got the stats. You know what I'm saying? We try to see, is he bigger than me? Is he gonna you know what I'm saying? So nervousness was kicking your butt at that
Oh
time.
yeah, the reason why I'm looking like that because I feel like if I felt like I'm much in shape more than him, that it makes me feel
Yeah.
makes me feel more confident.
Did you feel like you were more in shape than him?
Kind of. Well, like kind of like I try not to pay more attention to him too much because I want that getting in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really the day of like I was really like look at the mirror myself telling myself I'm gonna win. I felt nervous, so like I took the anointing oil. I put it over my head and I prayed about it, and then later on getting up. Now it's time to go for the fight, and I'm glad I was the very first fight. I'm glad I wasn't.
Oh, he was the very first fight too.
I'm glad I wasn't seeing other people. Like other people wasn't fighting before me because that would have also got in my head. But like now I'm walking up the stage, I'm getting nervous. You know, I see my best friend Neat. She just walking in, so I see her. So I'm.
Yeah, I didn't know you saw me. Ah!
You know, I did. Yo.
Bro, when I say the fight started at 6 o'clock and these people were ready to fight at 6 o'clock, I was like, okay, good thing I'm an on-time woman. So this nervousness was starting to really set in. Was it affecting you while you walk up there? Was your feet shaking? Because I know when I get nervous, I literally will start to physically, my hand will literally start shaking. But I watched and the loudness, the noise, the fire, when they had the smoke coming up, whoo, like they had.
Oh, okay. That was pretty. That was
Yo,
pretty
it was dope, bro. They had it like a real MMA, like come out, I'm gonna bust you in the head type thing. Oh, the champion, you know, they got the smoke. Listen, only thing was left is the fire. I needed him to come out with some fire, okay? Because when he stepped out, he looked really good. So tell him. So when you got up there now, and you saw this guy, you know, you were nervous, but at the same time, you're glad you fought first because it made you less nervous in a sense, but not really. So when you started to fight, what was the energy in the ring?
The energy, it was pretty tense. Like he's up there, he's mean mugging me. I'm kind of mean mugging him.
Mean mugging.
Like honestly, and I'm glad. Shout out to my opponent because he's a real gentleman.
Yes.
Some of these fighters like to be these like tough macho guys. You want to get in your face and all this. I mean, like we grown men. This is a sport. Like. I don't really like unless it's like real beef, like this is real personal stuff, and that people do this stuff for clout. I don't like it. But anyway,
Right.
like he got his gay face on. I got my gay face on. I'm hearing voices all over. Hey, Willie, go Willie. Some of them familiar and all that, but I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to listen out for my coach's voices and all. You know, and honestly, the nerve's still there, but you know, I'm trying to stay focused and all. I got a couple of shots. He hit me really good, and that kind of woke me up. He hit me real hard. Everybody's like, ooh.
Oh yeah. And listen. Yo, me say, chatters, the man coming at the ring out here, bap. They both going at it. But listen, it was his first fight. So was the expectation, and I'm not saying you would tear yourself down, but did you expect to win? Is a question people ask. It's your first fight. You never fought. It is your first fight.
It was 50-50. What I want, my thing is, I had the mindset is, I was gonna go out there. If I lose, so be it. I don't want to get embarrassed. I don't want to get knocked out. I don't want to lose in like 30 seconds. I want to go in there. If I lose, let it be by decision, and knowing that I gave him my all. Unfortunately, I didn't lose by decision. He finished me. He caught me with a rear naked choke, and I tapped out.
And it was hard for you to get off the floor at that time when he caught you. What is it different? Like when he got you on the floor and you were down there, why was it hard for you to come up? Because I remember you explaining that some fighters are different with the techniques they use. You're more of a what type of fighter?
The type of fighter I am, I'm more like a wrestler / jiu-jitsu guy. And I have experience with grappling. He's a really good grappler. He's pretty strong. And grappling's a real different thing. You having punches thrown to your face, thrown to the face. Like if I'm on the bottom, somebody's hitting you from the bottom. You gotta really look out for that. And sometimes it gets tough. The game plan was the game plan was just to box him out because my coaches felt like he was a better wrestler than me. So that was the thing. Though under pressure and stuff, it's real, so it can get difficult. I mean, he came up there, he probably trained his butt off and came out there with his best too.
Yeah. So as a man now that has went into this initially for other reasons, manly reasons, what has this journey fighting taught you beyond just the fight that just happened the other day, but the journey of being a part of the jiu-jitsu, fightings and different things? What did you learn throughout the journey?
Well, one thing is I had to just have confidence in yourself. Something that I struggle, and honestly, oh my goodness, self-confidence. I could just go on and on about that. I struggle for people who only personal people know this about me, but I struggle with my self-confidence in every single level. So I'm extremely hard on myself. But there's times where I feel that I can't fight. But anyways, I had to overcome. I had to have some self-confidence. The discipline, I always had discipline if I really wanted things.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had to say, just having faith in myself, and that was the biggest thing that I took out of it. That and fighting and facing my fears. Because when I get scared about things, I tend to back out. But what I fear out of life is being a person who didn't try. I'd rather be the person who tried to fail than the person who didn't try at all.
Well, I must say I'm proud to watch you fight, and I'm proud to know that whether you win or lose, you looked at good, you did the weight cut, you did everything you needed to do to increase your fighting skills. And I'm looking forward to actually you being in more fights, okay? Just don't get your butt beat. Just make sure when you go in there, you learn how to grapple too. You call it, what do you call it, grapple? Grapple, what is it called, grapple?
There's there's all sorts of different types of grappling. It's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, judo. I can wrestle. I can't. I just went in there with a strict game plan, and I was just following coach's order. But I'm a good wrestler. You should check me out.
Listen. Go on over to Instagram at
Willie 27. That's my Instagram.
27. Guys,
27.
Listen, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in us. Just to have my girlfriend Blessing out here, tell you a little bit about her story and where God had brought her from. A lot of you Jamaican people out there, I know you've been through some things. And for a lot of our male characters too, a lot of you are afraid to express your vulnerabilities and express your weaknesses. Now, I brought you guys a young man that can tell you guys about his insecurities. And he has so much more story to share. Now, you can always go because I did an initial collab with him before on a specific topic. But guys, remember, even if you're a male character, don't be afraid to talk about the things that you got to work on. Don't be afraid to talk about the things that you're trying to prove. And actually, what can we do to not have to live our lives to prove things to people daily, but to consistently get, a little bit more positive energy in our lives. So now you're a little bit more confident, would you say, after this fight?
Yeah. I am. A lot of people came up to me and it's like, "Oh, Willie, your boxing is actually pretty good." And everybody was just telling me how good I look.
You looked good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. He had the tidy whitey thing on, whatever they box in, whatever that's called, and his body looked good from like the weight loss and the six packs coming in, and I could see honestly the physical difference that day specifically. So Willie did a phenomenal job. I thank you for coming on Chit TV, guys. Listen, remember to tune in a little while for our music party. Run up, come up, run up. We have a music party later on. May I give you that chance to cook on the food, do the homework, do what I do, put on the song. Cause later on we have what? Music party. Big up with yourself.
Can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Oh, and one more thing. I said this before. Last time, me and Nick did a video, but I want to push it again. Like, if you, I mean, for mental health, it's no shame going into counseling. I just want that to be known. Hopefully, I'm touching somebody with this message. But if you feel like you got something going on inner-wise, you ain't feeling good, you feeling sad, man. It's not a shame to admit that you need some help. Go talk to somebody, because like I said before, it's bad when you let yourself build in. You do harmful stuff to yourself or others instead of like talking it out. So don't be ashamed, man. Go talk it out.
All right. I really thank you for that. That was very powerful, Willie. Thank you, and I appreciate you.
Your girl Annie, and it is Chit Chat TV, where we have those hard conversations. If you don't have me on Chit Chat TV _ on the gram, what are you waiting for? Follow me, and I promise I'll follow back.
And while you at it, hit the link in the bio. Bye, chatter.